Hey guys, it's Kris with Launch. Today, Jillian and I will be filming a client testimonial with our clients Sam and Tyler, who built the Trailblazer.
Where and how did you guys hear about Launch?
So I was born and raised in Sherwood Park, and Tyler's from Ontario. So when we had made the decision that we wanted to build a home, we were thinking about the different surrounding neighborhoods in Sherwood Park, like Edmonton. We're both in outside sales positions, so the location with respect to work didn't really matter. So we decided we wanted to be back in Sherwood Park and found the different builders in the area that had show homes, toured through Summerwood and Salisbury Village, which is where we first stumbled upon Launch because we actually hadn't previously heard of them. And then, yeah, kind of how we found Launch.
Amazing. So after finding Launch, what made you choose to go with Launch?
Well, I think our first initial reaction when we went through the show home was it was absolutely stunning, and it was actually exactly what we were looking for. And I think there was conversations while we were leaving how we could acquire the show home. So somebody beat us to the punch on that. So I think it kind of all started there. It was just we fell in love with the home as soon as we walked into it.
Yeah, and for me, it was just the initial experience actually connecting with Kris and talking to Kris, because I felt like the experience with the other builders that we had connected with was pretty impersonal. And as we were going through all of the show homes, which we probably spent like 6 weeks going through various show homes in the Edmonton area, every single show home that we went through was, well, we want that, but not that. We want this, but not this. We want this layout on top of this layout. And every single time we engaged essentially with one of the other builders, it was always told, well, you can't really do that. You can't make those exceptions. You kind of have to pick from one of these look boards. And I just didn't want to.
All right, is there anything you wish you did differently with your build?
No, absolutely not. We were actually just discussing this the other night. It was exactly what we wanted it to be and what we had envisioned in our minds for sure. We were talking about that. It's one of the things that we consistently talk about is it's exactly what we wanted. And yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that would be great.
Question. So I hear feedback from clients all the time. A lot of times when I'm interviewing clients before they're actually my clients, I'll hear things like, we survived the build. At any point was your relationship in general during construction?
Only on the me saying no to upgrades initially, and then as the build goes, he's more of a let's just do it and worry about it later guy, and I'm more of a let's make sure we plan for the budget girl.
Yeah.
So those were the only conversations. Actually, Jill can probably comment on things that we would go into meetings with her having pre-discussed, and then in the meeting he would change his mind back to the original thing that was my idea that we had compromised on. So we actually had like a whole fireplace, like living room setup in mind, and then when we met her at the show home in Ardrossan, the entire plan was gassed and we just went with like exactly what you guys had in Ardrossan. So those were like the moments that were pretty funny where I had a plan, he'd wing it, and then he got everything he wanted.
What surprised you most about the home building journey?
I think the amount of things that you have to think about. So he had built before, but it was similar to like a lookbook type of a scenario. So I was shocked when we went to like our town meeting and you're picking the grout color and the way the tiles are laid. And that part, I guess, was like a pleasant surprise. Again, coming from that whole like, well, I wanted exactly this way was actually possible with Launch. Really?
Exactly what she said. No, just the customization and that whole aspect with Launch has just been, it's been outstanding. It was something I don't think we really didn't have a full understanding or grasp on how many things we were going to have to make decisions on. And obviously with the support of the Launch team, it helped make our decisions a little bit easier because they were great with their recommendations and their experience that they've had this far. That really helped us make kind of decisions on things that maybe we were potentially deciding between.
Yeah, like unsure of. Like I felt like Jill was very good in saying, if you go this way, it's going to give you a certain vibe or look, and if you go this way, like what are you going, or what are you guys hoping to achieve? And then we would kind of pick a lane and she would just like steer us.
So where did you get the most of your inspiration for your home?
So a combination of honestly Launch's Instagram feed and Kris's videos. A few other custom builders in the area too. We would just draw on some of the features of different homes from there, but for the most part, honestly, what you guys had already done in the past. And then he had a Pinterest board, like locked and loaded, ready to go before we met.
Yeah, well, I think one pieces that we're missing is that, I don't know if we told you, the launch team this, that we did a lot of driving around to the show homes and sneaking into windows and looking through windows to try and figure out what we really wanted, because we were just, it was, again, every house that we went to, it was kind of our style, and at that point it was almost more difficult to figure out what we actually wanted because we liked so many of the homes that we saw that were built by Launch. So it was, yeah.
Mostly you guys.
All right, what advice would you give to another launch client?
Maybe like once you make your decision on things, stop looking at future inspo for those things. Because I feel like in the initial meetings, we were very confident in the meetings that that's exactly what you wanted. And then there's so many obviously beautiful options that sometimes it can take away from the excitement if you have already picked it, you know it's in progress of actually like being executed, and then you see something you like a little better. Like trust your initial gut. Because I wouldn't change anything now.
No, I would agree with that. I think this is the typical answer that most people would probably assume that I would say, but I would say follow Launch's lead. To be honest, it was, yeah, the entire process was just so seamless. And we look back on it and we've talked about this numerous times, but we wouldn't change a single thing. And really considering the recommendations that you guys made throughout the process really helped us with kind of the entire fuck.
Where in your house do you spend the most time?
Probably here, to be honest.
I would have to say the office, because we both work from home, so I seem to be nestled in there most days. But if I'm not in the office, then I'm downstairs.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the time of day. If it's during the day, we're definitely like, I also like love to consider like this entire area just one space. Like I can very easily get snacks, work, take the dogs out, or the gym.
What room is your favorite in the house?
Again, this row.
I would have to agree, the kitchen. I can't get enough of the kitchen, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of where everybody comes to hang out, and is usually the wow factor is the part of the house. So it's usually where we spend most of our time.
When did you know you were ready to build a custom home?
After we toured all of the other quote-unquote cookie cutter homes, we went through a lot of show homes, kind of like you mentioned before, and really never fell in love with any of the homes that we walked through. So I think we knew what we wanted, and the only way that was going to come to fruition was working with a custom builder.
Yeah, and for me it was actually after like our kind of second conversation with Kris, where I kept going to all the other people that we were connecting with from the other builders, and I just wasn't like, I had a lot of questions. Obviously it's a huge purchase, really big decisions that are, you know, you live with every day, and I felt like he was the only one that got that it's like it's such a big deal to the clients. I didn't really feel like we were just like another file coming across their desk. that they wanted to like stamp and move along the way. And that to me like changed the whole game. I was like, price point out the window, I don't even care, we're going custom, and that's what's happening.
What was your favorite part of the drafting process?
I think finally actually learning that what we wanted was possible. Because again, going through, we didn't go obviously through the full process with any other builder, but even just in the preliminary conversations, I was getting very discouraged that we were just not going to be able to like get the home that we really truly wanted. So when we initially gave launch an idea of what we wanted, and then Kris had sent over some previous builds, and we sent back to him, we like this from this house, we like this from this house, we'd want to potentially incorporate a gym in the basement. And he was like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And I was like, what do you mean you can do it? Like, I almost didn't believe it. It was just like super exciting. What do you think?
Just the flexibility in the floor plans, meeting with the architect, and just knowing that what we wanted was an option. And then on top of it, we were also receiving recommendations from the launch team on what could also be possible solutions to the different floor plans that we were looking at. So it was just the ease of mapping it out all together, and just being able to bring it into exactly what we wanted it to be.
Yeah, I agree.
What advice would you give someone about to start their home building journey?
Don't be afraid to ask for what you want. I think it was obviously a hesitation of ours after going through several different show homes and speaking to different builders. Is after speaking with the launch team, it was really what we wanted is possible. So don't hold back from what you want would be my advice.
And they'll find a way, even if it's something they haven't done before.